Do you want to be a hero? This week, YouTube announced the YouTube Heroes program, which is essentially a crowdsourced moderating system where users are rewarded for things like adding captions to videos, sharing knowledge, and, oh yeah, reporting videos for the ever-vague, inappropriate content. Heroes that game the system well will even be given the ability to mass flag videos. What could go wrong? After all, judging from YouTube's stellar record with Content ID, I'm sure that false positives will be few and far between. It's not like the internet community is filled with trolls looking for laughs or overly sensitive snowflakes that can't distinguish a difference of opinion from harassment. In movie news, good news for fans of Ghost in the Shell. This week, Paramount Pictures released 5 short teasers for the live-action movie, which is slated for March of 2017. The clips show what appear to be a pretty decent adaptation of the cyberpunk world of the manga, along with providing a good view of Scarlett Johansson as the Major and Takashi Kitano as Aramaki. I would go into further detail about the clips, but they are so short that I only have just enough time to finish this sentence. In other anime news, the third installment of Digimon Adventure Tri saw an early release on Crunchyroll this week. Originally scheduled for October, the new episode hit North America Internet on Friday as the Japanese theatrical release was opening in theaters in Japan. If you're looking for a theatrical release in North America though, a one-night-only screening for the English dub was held on September 15th. The release must have been successful because additional screenings have been scheduled for select theaters from September 29th to October 6th. Meanwhile, back in Japan, the fourth movie's release date has been set for February 25th. If the pattern holds, that may be when we can expect a Crunchyroll release as well. Finally, in Pokemon news, some new Z-moves have been revealed, this time for some of the unevolved favorites. Pikachu getting a high-powered Z-move was no surprise, but more interesting is Eevee's Extreme Evo Boost. This ability will raise all of Eevee's stats by 2 stages in a single turn, which should make him attractive for trainers that want to use him as a baton pass Pokemon. Character customization is also confirmed to make a comeback. Notably absent from Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, Pokemon Sun and Moon will once again let you dress and customize your trainer as you see fit. Hitting theaters this week, we have Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. If you like Harry Potter and the X-Men, then you may want to check this one out because, you know, it looks like a cross between Harry Potter and the X-Men. Premiering this week on television, we have the 6th season of Once Upon a Time. It looks like this year the show is going to Agrabah with a story centered on Aladdin and a recasted Jafar. New on Fox this week, there's Son of Zorn, an odd premise for a show where a He-Man parody moves to California to reconnect with his son and ex-wife. Also on Fox, Family Guy returns for its 5th season, and if you think that's long in the tooth, The Simpsons is still going with season 28. And if you're in the mood for a history lesson with a twist, Drunk History starts its 4th season on Comedy Central this week. Last but by no means least, Luke Cage rolls out on Netflix on September 30th, so get your binging chairs ready. Over in video games, there were seriously no fewer than 4 top-down shooters releasing this week, but the most interesting one seems to be Demon Truck. Instead of a typical spaceship, this shooter puts you in the driver's seat of the big rig from hell. This week's shoutout to RPG maker is Zia, the Goddess of Magic. I can't say much about the art style, but the battle system uses input commands, which is a neat mechanic you don't see all that often. Goo Saga, on the other hand, looks very pretty, but doesn't appear to be particularly innovative on the gameplay side. It's pretty much as standard as a platformer as you can make. Next up, there's Make America Great Again, the Trump Presidency. This pro-Donald Trump presidential simulator comes with special thanks to the Donald subreddit community for the inspiration, which I can only assume means that this game showcases what people who support Donald Trump actually think his presidency would be like, as opposed to the more likely scenario of it being a complete and utter cluster truck as an interesting looking first-person platformer with a neat concept. The whole game has you jumping from one moving truck to another past a series of obstacles, though I can't help but wonder if it would be better with a third-person perspective. Now if we're talking about games where you definitely don't need to see your protagonist, we have Galgun Double Peace. And this is nothing if not a game that knows what it wants to be. When your trailer has "Seriously Japan, what the hell" as a quote of reference, what more really needs to be said? But even stranger than that, we have the Metronomicon. Part rhythm game, part dungeon crawler, this one has you grooving your way through combat, and is it just me, or is combining rhythm games with other genres really started to become a popular thing recently? Next up, Quantum Break is coming to Steam. No rhythm mechanics here, I think. Instead, we get to watch Shawn Ashmore dick around with time in this kind of movie, kind of video game. And wrapping up PC releases, we have Salmon Ninja. Pretty sure this is just a Super Meat Boy clone with a grapple rope and a sword, but I'm okay with that. Meanwhile, over on the 3DS, there's Sonic Boom, Fire and Ice. Hopefully learning the lesson from their last outing, with luck, Fire and Ice may be good enough to hold Sonic fans over until Sonic Mania comes out. Moving on to this week's CGBros video, we have Toxic Love by Team TL, a cautionary tale about what happens when you kiss the wrong frog. Finally, this week's awesome video comes from SaveTheDay.vote. Joss Whedon brought together some of his friends to remind people to register to vote, preferably for somebody that isn't a... how did the Scottish put it? Oh yeah, a Cheeto-faced, ferret-wearing shit-gibbon.
It affects everything.
Not just the presidency, but the Senate,
The House,
your local officials,
immigration.
That's everything for this week, so are you going to be a YouTube hero? Let me know in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe, pass this video around to your friends, and have a great week.